Hello. Today I'm going to discuss the events which led up to the formation of the social and reformist systems in our country. So this topic I will explain what exactly happened, and why these samajas and all the reform and revivalist organizations were formed. I will be reading from my notes. So, the first missionaries were Danish missionaries, and they first arrived in India in Calcutta. Okay, they strongly believed that they had to convert like people of other gender, and they believed that that was only their um, motive to live and their mission in life. They also they worked in very harsh conditions. They treated almost every like they also treated people with leprosy, and thus they succumbed to many injuries over time. At that time, the East India Company's priority was profit. So, the East India Company opposed the Christian missionaries in the beginning till 1830s. So, any missionary who tried to uh, in convert someone in the British territory was immediately deported. After the Charter Act of 1833 was passed, they were allowed to propagate Christian belief and thoughts, and the missionaries were allowed to operate on in British territories. The ST/SC tribal communities slowly started converting to Christianity, and later also the upper class Hindus and Muslims started converting to Christianity. There is one thing I would like to discuss, that the ST/SC and tribal students were not allowed to sit or enroll in government schools, and these government schools were owned and operated by the British government, and the British government did this to gain the trust of the upper class Hindus. This was the issue. Now the first printing press started in India was started it's printed Bible in various regional languages. Sehrampur missionaries from Denmark started the first college in India. They started hospitals, clinics, orphanages. They also helped lepers. The upper class in Kolkata started reading the newspapers printed by them. So they had access to the printing machine, and that led to the formation of all those schools and colleges because it was easy for them. They criticized practices like sati, polygamy, child marriage, etc. The social reform movement started in the 19th century, which is the 1800s. The missionaries were the main reason for this reform movement. Also, the colonization, but this was one of the main reasons. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was highly inspired by these missionaries of Sehrampur. Scottish missionaries, these are different country. They came to Kolkata in 1830. Raja Ram Mohan Roy helped them set up and establish Hindu college. Alexander Durf, he was the leader of these Scottish missionaries. He believed that education was very important. Now, revivalists wanted to rebuild social, religious, uh, like the social and religious constructs of our country in their own way, without giving the credit to the missionaries and foreign inspirations they had taken from. Now I'll talk about Brahmo Samaj. So the founder of Brahmo Samaj was Rajaram Mohan Roy. He lived from 1772 to 1833. He was one of the first Indian political thinkers. He's also known as the father of modern India. Uh, I'll talk about a concept of Aryanization. This word means the teachings inspired by the Vedas. For a long time, Brahmanism was practiced in the north, but it didn't reach Bengal for a long time, for centuries. So there is a caste called Kulin Brahmins. So these are the UP Brahmins who migrated to Bengal after the rise of the Sen dynasty, and they were called by the king to settle down in Bengal and start their practices over there. Thus, they came to be known as Kulim Brahmins, and they are a very high caste. And Rajaram Mohan Roy was a Kulim Brahmin. That is all for today. Thank you.